Welcome back to another episode of the Bites of Bristol Borough. We're here with Donnie from Legendary Caesars. Donnie, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for coming.
You want to share a little bit about the history of Caesars? I know it's iconic and it's been in town for over 70 years, I believe.
75 years. We've been in business 75 years. My dad got out of service, and he has a brother-in-law. His brother-in-law was a few years younger than him, and my dad was going to go into the deli business. But his brother-in-law says, how would you like to go into the tomato pie business? So my father didn't know too much about the tomato pie business, but my uncle, who was from Trenton, his family was in the tomato pie business since 1910.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was Joe's Tomato Pies on South Clinton. And him and my dad started in Florence, New Jersey, 1947. Because my dad was from Bristol, my uncle was from Trenton, and the Florence, I really don't understand why they went there, but they only stayed there about 9 months. Then they came to Bristol, and Bristol, they opened up in Monroe Street. They were on where the Colonial Hotel was. They stayed there a few months, they lost the lease, and they ended up on the corner here, where the parking lot is, probably in 1950, and we've been here ever since. I mean, this was we moved in '84 to this location, and where the old place was is now the parking lot. And,
your pizza is probably the best pizza that I've ever had. You know, we try and share that information with everybody that we know. It's already well known. I know that you've it's adapted to the way you've made it over the years. Was it a certain way that, you know, your father made it versus the way that, you put out the pie today? Yeah,
it's different today because not everything's the same. I mean, the flour was different. Now they're using a high gluten flour. Back in, when he started, it was just a regular baker's flour. So you got to know what you want in order to get what you want. And we kept changing things. And I think right now our pie is probably the best it's ever been. I mean, it's crispy. It stands out straight. It's an original tomato pie. I mean, that's what we were looking for, and that's what we got.
Now, do you see any? Your son's involved, taking over, and now do you see him trying to tailor the pizza any which way that he sees?
Well, actually, since he came on board, that's when we made these little tweaks, and it came out for the best. I mean, it's really, in my opinion, I've been eating the tomato pies for a lot of years, and this is the best pie that we ever put out. Yeah,
with over 100 years of experience. Besides the fantastic tomato pie, what would you say is a legendary dish that if somebody's coming here, whether it be a sauce or something that you have to have while you're here besides the tomato pie?
Well, like I said, we started in the 40s and we started with tomato pie, and whatever items we put on our menu, it was a slow process. So we made sure everything that we put on was right, and I don't really think that we have a weak link on our menu. From our pies, steak sandwiches, we cut our own. Pastas, we use only an imported pasta. Hamburgers, they're never frozen. Veal, I only buy the finest veal. I mean, veal chops. I mean, everybody orders veal chops. I only buy the first 4 ribs.
Okay.
5, 6, and 7, you can sell to somebody else because it's not the same. I mean, you're going to pay. But, my father used to tell me, you can't get gold if you start out with tin.
Yeah.
So, but I think the steak sandwiches, like I said, we cut our own. Pies are great. Pastas are always great. So I don't think I have a weak link on my menu.
I would have to agree with you. I probably perused the menu and went through and had a little bit of everything at some point or another. Ever any thoughts of expansion, maybe another location?
I don't even want to do what I'm doing. When you're young, you want money. When you're old, you want time. I think I got an idea for outside. We had 2 places. We had 2 places for a lot of years. Right now, the hardest thing in this business is labor.
Absolutely.
And I mean, to try to run 2 places, it's not twice as hard. It's probably 4 or 5 times as hard. So I think with the outside, if we can get some labor in order to man what we have in our head, I think that would be the expansion that I would be doing. Now, my son, he might have a completely different idea.
Okay.
But, and like I said, this is something that I had in my mind to do, and that's probably the last thing that I have plans for.
Okay.
But I'm sure he has, plans, and he's the one that's that's running it now. I mean, I'm collecting rent, so
I hear
I'm
you.
the front guy.
All right, looks like we have some amazing items out here. And John, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
So your menu has, quite a variety, large, a lot of different fantastic options. But it looks like we have 3 of your staples. You want to go through it and explain a little bit about what each one is, and I'm going to dig in and start.
So I guess we'll just start with the vodka rig. I'm sure my father told you everything's imported pasta. Make the sauce from scratch. And
Excellent.
yeah, probably one of my favorite dishes. I mean, I obviously eat a little bit of everything here, as you can
Yeah,
imagine.
absolutely.
But
Now, is this a sauce that you started, or is it something that you tweaked over time, or is it something that your father had?
That's something we brought in. I think it came. I don't know where it come from, but everybody makes it a little different. Like we got prosciutto in it. Not everybody does the prosciutto, and you got to put your twist on things.
Yeah.
If not, you become just another one in the crowd.
Yeah.
And our steak sandwiches.
cut fresh every day.
Yeah, we cut our own steaks.
Hand carved ribeye.
Yeah, there's no magic to what we do. What we do, it's all labor, but
That's
it
impressive.
shows up. And,
Yeah.
and the pie, look at that.
That
I
just
mean,
came out of
you know
the
what I mean?
oven.
That
How
just
long
came
ago?
out
It's
and-
Yeah,
still staying
absolutely.
like
Yeah, one of the so this is what you would call your original.
It's the
Correct.
original tomato pie.
Okay. So now this is the original that your father started. That you kind of tweaked over time a little bit.
Yeah, we did. There's a lot of things we changed. Without my dad, and I talk about my dad a lot. I mean, because this guy was. I mean, if you would have met this guy, and that's like he was 5 years old when my dad died, and I would give. I don't know what I would give to have him see what's going on now.
Yeah.
And but my dad, I mean, in my opinion, my dad was the sharpest guy you ever want to meet.
Yeah.
And my father, I think, was the most successful guy in the world. And I say this not because he had the most money, but he did what he wanted to do. My father had an item, and I got to share this with you. My father had a menu, all right, and he used to tell me, "You're the sharpest guy. You're smarter than me." I said, "Smarter than you? How could I be smarter than you? You had 5 items, and you went to track every day." I mean, you did exactly what you wanted to do when you wanted to do it. He had pizzas, steaks, hoagies, soda, and coffee. And he had the nerve to put on the menu. That's it. I mean, don't ask for nothing else. I mean, this guy, in my opinion, I mean, I would give anything for him to see what's going on now. But
You and me both.
yeah, he taught me a ton of stuff. I mean, and I'm passing it on to him. I mean, it's just,
Nice. So John, you're in the kitchen now. Somebody comes in here. They typically see you. You're all over the place. You're making all the pizzas. Do you have a favorite item that you like to make? Or, are you usually roving the kitchen, kind of taking care of everything?
Where I started out was with the pizza. Well, to be honest with you, I started out on the counter. That's when Aunt Monica was still here. You remember that, right? But yeah, pizzas. That's my favorite thing. I guess it's in the blood from where we started. But I also make sandwiches. That needs to be done. I go on and saute. I'm actually enjoying that as well. Just a little change of scenery,
Nice. Yeah.
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 But I just like cooking. I like food. I like what I do.
Which
like
is
coming
important.
up with new things, and yeah, got to do what you like.
And it shows the labor of love. It shows in your food that comes out from, chicken picante that I have, or pizza, vodka rigatoni. You can taste the authenticity to it, and that you really care about it. And most restaurants, you'll see frozen, meat being imported, cheesesteak, something as simple as shaved ribeye, doing it in house makes a huge difference.
yeah, when you're just a steakhouse, then you got to do that.
Yeah.
Place like this, you really don't have to do that. But if I didn't do that, I don't think I would want to.
But see, that was always the thing with us, the quality.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Top
you can't
notch
get
with
gold if
everything.
you start out with 10.
And it's been, you haven't wavered on quality one bit. And over the last 24 months, you know it firsthand that food prices have skyrocketed. And, you still have excellent items, and your menu isn't crazy outrageous. You still can come and have a great meal for, a fantastic price.
I talked to the customers. And the customers, if you had to take price or quality, they'll take quality every time.
Absolutely.
So if you got to get more, then you got to get it. If you can't sell it, then you got to rethink your your marketing. But quality, you can't.
If that's
There's
what
no
they want, like
substitute
you
for
said,
quality.
they don't mind paying if that's
Right, as
what
long
they
as
want.
you know you're getting quality.
So, would you say this is the number one pie, or with a topping, or this is what comes out? This is it.
So we were actually talking in the back of the kitchen. He says, "What do you want to make them?" I says, "You got to make them an original. Well, do you want to put anything on it, to make it look good?" I said, "The whole idea with the original is you can just have it as is, and that the pie speaks for itself.
Yeah,
It's great with toppings. Don't get me wrong, but I mean that's the pie right there."
I agree 100%. It's a being a pizza naturalist, a purist. You don't want the pie hits the nail on the head. It's great. I do it a variety of different ways. I probably eat pizza myself. A whole pie a week.
I know you come in here on Mondays, you get
Yeah,
2 of them.
yeah. Don't tell my wife. She thinks it's salad and salmon, but that's besides the point. But thank you again today for joining us. What a great history and what a landmark in Bristol. With over 100 years of pizza experience, we look forward to having you. I imagine another 100 years
Thank you
of
very
experience. Thank you very much,
Thanks,
and join us again. Check us out on YouTube, and don't forget to follow us on another episode of the Bites of Bristol Borough. Take care.